Hello, I'm Paula Sheil, founder of Tuleburg Press and The Right Place. Welcome to the closing ceremony for Fully Booked. Now, normally we would all be gathered at St. Basil Church. We'd be laughing, we'd be talking, we would have enjoyed Art Coleman's jazz band, the premier jazz band of Cesar Chavez High School. We would have been dancing, we would have be anticipating dancing after dinner. We would have had a fabulous dinner by Angelina's, as we have had for the past 4 years, and enjoyed wines by Blake Bombin Delta Artisan and beer brewed by Highwater Brewing Company, Steve and Barri Altimari. We would all be scrambling to outbid each other at our fabulous auction, and a lot of us would have had a stack of books to take home from our big free library. Now here I am, addressing you, sitting next to my new best friend, the Chandler & Price letterpress printer that was acquired through Maryline Poole Press of Berkeley, California, just last January. And talking about kind of where we've come and where we're going. So Fully Booked celebrates its 5th year this year, and we were a little at the beginning because it was kind of an Eeyore birthday, you know, no cake, no candles, no balloons. The pandemic has really shut everything down and shut us all down emotionally for a while as well. We went home March 13th like everybody else, and we're pretty fearful for a couple of weeks. The kids from the after school program went home. They didn't even take home their projects in progress. We canceled all our classes, and we really sat down and started thinking about what we could do to be relevant and to be supportive in our community during the pandemic. So the first thing we did was take all of Maryline Poole's miniature book collection and all the unfinished work that she had planned on throwing out. And we spent a couple of weeks sorting and filing it away in all of our flat files. So as I said in an earlier video this week, we have a marvelous teaching tool here at The Right Place where you can come in and see how a miniature book of a variety of sizes and shapes and styles goes together. And then we started thinking about the kids who were deprived of language arts activities because schools were scrambling to try to figure out how to address their needs. And so we partnered with Orlando Molina Zeps, those of you who know him as Mr. Rhymosaur, who writes all the Rhymosaur children's book series, the hip hop daddy extraordinaire. And we put together 100 packets that included his new books, Triceratops, and some pencils, some crayons, and the book, The Great Chinese New Year's Race by Heather Rule. We thought we'd have a variety of reading and some coloring and rhyming and writing activities to send home. So we took a third of them to Taft Community Center, another third went to Sierra Vista, and the last third went to Conway Homes, both of those last two San Joaquin Housing Authority projects. We tried very hard to create a Zoom class in hip-hop writing with Orlando through the two Housing Authority projects, and we're marginally successful. I can't say that moving to a virtual environment has been 100%. I know teachers are struggling to meet the demands required of their students, and we're still perfecting the technique of reaching people and making ourselves relevant during this time in this environment. So we continued that process. Orlando continued making Zoom videos, and we're developing his YouTube channel. We're going to continue that because we won't be able to have an after-school program the way we had planned it and the way it has been funded. We had planned on doing 5 school sites or 5 sites where Orlando would go and do an after-school writing program, and it would culminate with bookbinding and paper making. We have this beautiful little painted trailer that we can haul all of our equipment now out to school sites or community sites and so on. And so that was the plan. And right now there are no school sites in operation that were the ones designated by our funding source, which was the 2 Housing Authority projects and 3 Title I schools. So we continue to plan how to execute that particular program. What we did do, which turned out to be phenomenal, was partnered with community medical centers on a project called Words Outspoken. Tom of Brisbane, the poet laureate, was also involved in that, and the 2 of us provided writing opportunities and papermaking opportunities for people suffering from a variety of different traumas. Now, I got involved in the Words Outspoken project as a natural progression of our Pieces to Peace, a veterans writing project. A year ago, we met with Drew Matot, a paper maker in Hamburg, Germany, and learned how to make paper from military garments. So we executed that program with veterans in the community and Amy Smith, a novelist and an English professor at the University of Pacific, as the writing coach, all last year. So we were really primed for the idea of writing trauma out of the body. These vets produced some amazing stories about their military experiences, some of which had been buried for more than 50 years. Now that's the whole idea behind the Peace Paper Project, to actually start a reflective, thoughtful, quiet process that forces you inward to think about particular traumatic events. So unlike talk therapy, where you are encouraged to talk about it, this is a little bit different. You take a garment that has seen you through a traumatic experience, or to move it a little afield from there, a garment that perhaps belonged to someone that you love very much, like a grandparent or a child that passed, or a friend who died in a car accident. Any of these things are traumas, and all of these things enter the body emotionally and stay seated in the body. And until you process them, these experiences, they can cause other mental anguish and other behavior disorders. So the idea is to take a garment, cut it up, reflect on the garment at the time, process it into paper, make a journal, and then write in that journal. So we partnered with community medical centers to do that all summer and had a summit where we all came together virtually again on August 15th and celebrated our entree into this digital mental and behavioral project. And now we have a contract with CMC to do this throughout all of 2021. That is significant for us because our mission is to mentor and publish local writers. And the right place exists to foster that mentorship with writers of all ages by exploring what is the book, how is a book made. Now, we've turned a corner with Pieces to Peace. One thing COVID taught us was that we are so interdependent, and the arts are a significant part of our wellness. And it doesn't matter if it's music or dance or singing or painting, crocheting, woodworking. Any of the arts or handicrafts became so much more important to us during COVID. We realized how much we depended on creative output of our own and our appreciation and support of artistic creation as consumers of art or as audience members of artistic performances. So by combining that need, which we felt so acutely, with a project that allows us to use art to create a path to wellness, that is pretty much where our mission has taken a bit of a turn and become more expansive and even more relevant than we thought we could be during this time. So by combining our artistic abilities and our artistic desires with behavioral health, I think we can really make a huge difference in our community this year by being flexible. And so we're not together this 5th anniversary, and it's a big year. It's been a big year in many, many ways. But I do feel that we have established a bond and some camaraderie amongst all of us who attend the event, who take our classes, who support Tuleburg Press and The Right Place. And I wish we could be together. Your support is still needed now more than ever. But I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for your continued support, attendance, and appreciation of what we're trying to do here in Stockton, which is more than just providing a place to write or to create books. The whole idea is to celebrate the book and to bring the book arts to Stockton and be on a par with other great urban centers that have this arts discipline. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this whole week's worth of programming. We engaged in a very steep learning curve to bring you all the different videos that are multi-aged, multi-ethnic, and multi-arts. We brought you a fabulous auction, and I hope you enjoy bidding until 8 o'clock tonight. And know that the program is still going to be live for another couple of weeks. And you will be able to see all of our videos now anytime because they're all published on YouTube. So one more time, thanks to our sponsors, the Port of Stockton, Cort Companies, S.T.A.N.D, the Sheil Family, and Professor Robert Rennicks. Thank you very much for supporting Tuleburg Press and The Right Place. Good night.